Hi everyone. Today is May 7th, and here in our Zone 6 Kansas garden, we are past the last frost date. So now is the perfect time to start transplanting warm weather crops such as beans, cucumbers, and everyone's favorite, the tomatoes. We will show the steps we follow to transplant our seedlings. We have a special section in this video dedicated to tomatoes because so many people love to grow them, so don't miss that. Step 1 is to harden of the seedlings. If seedlings have been grown indoors and have not seen direct sunlight, they need to be acclimated to outdoors gradually. We do this by putting our seedlings in a transparent storage box and keeping it outside in shade for a few hours the first day. We keep the lid on with little opening on the sides for air to move in. We bring the box in the first night. The next day we keep it in partial shade and leave it out for night with closed lid to keep the warmth in. We repeat this for next 2 to 3 days, but each day we expose them to little more sun. Seedlings should get used to outdoor in 5 to 7 days and can be transplanted anytime after that. Step 2 is to set up plant support structures before transplanting the seedlings. This prevents injuring the roots of seedlings when setting up a trellis or plant cage. For example, we are setting up these TP trellis for our beans. Once we have them up, we will begin transplanting. Step 3 is to transplant the seedlings. To get the seedling out of its pot, gently squeeze the pot on all sides and push its base up with your fingers. Avoid watering seedlings the same day when you plan to transplant them. This makes it easy to pull the seedlings out of its container. We recently had too much rain, so our seedlings are soaking wet. The soil gets heavy when it is too wet and can cause easy breakage of roots. If you do lose some roots while getting the seedlings out, but still have some roots attached to the plant, it will be just fine. Don't worry too much. Once you have the seedling out, dig a hole and add some 5-5-5 balanced NPK organic fertilizer into the hole. NPK, which stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, the elements that plants need for proper growth. We are using organic chicken manure. 1/3 of a cup will be sufficient for each plant. Mix this around in the hole and put your seedling in. You can bury the stem of the seedlings when transplanting, especially if it is a leggy seedling. Now close it up, and if your soil is too dry, water it well. Ours is soaking wet due to rain, so we will not water it. Now let us look at the tomatoes. We will transplant this berry crazy cherry tomato. We are experimenting with our timeline to start seeds, and this year we started our tomato seeds after March 20th, which is why our seedlings are smaller than usual. And that is indeed our experiment to see if these plants would perform the same as a bigger seedling. We will post a video with updates on this experiment, so don't forget to subscribe. Since the soil in this pot is so wet, I can simply pull this plant out, and I'm not worried about losing some roots because tomatoes are so vigorous they can survive losing some roots. I would prepare this hole the same way as for any other seedling, and then I will lay the whole stem inside this hole. If this plant was any larger, I would have taken the lower leaves out, would have left only the top set of leaves in, and buried the whole stem in. The stem that is buried in will make roots as well and will give the plant a stronger root system. I always transplant my tomatoes like this. Step 4 is to take care of the seedlings immediately and transplanting. You want to protect your seedlings from pests like bunnies and squirrels, so make sure you either have a fence or a wire basket from Dollar Tree will do the job as well. Also, for first couple of days, provide some shade to the seedling. For example, we are simply placing these empty plastic containers in front of these seedlings to give them some shade. This allows the seedlings to settle in instead of dealing with lots of sun's heat right away. In 3 to 4 days, we will remove these shades and let the plant be. Keep an eye on seedlings for water also during initial few days. Once you see them looking strong and standing up tall, which usually takes about 7 days, you will know that your plant has settled in. Thereafter, you follow your regular watering regime. We are on Instagram where we post regular updates on our garden, so you can follow us there to see how these plants perform. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel to follow along all the fun projects we do in our garden. That is all we have for today. We hope you have wonderful time in your garden.